This is K0RWB, Randy in Kansas City, QRZ. Any other stations, come with your call sign, please. K0RWB, calling CQ here on 40 meters. Calling CQ here on 40 meters. A kilowatt zero radio Whiskey Bravo, K0RWB. Calling CQ here on 40 meters. Calling CQ, kilowatt zero, radio Whiskey Bravo, calling CQ, any stations, anywhere. CQ40 meters, CQ40 meters, CQ, a kilowatt zero, radio Whiskey Bravo, calling CQ. CQ40 meters, CQ40 meters, CQ40 meters, CQ, kilowatt zero, radio Whiskey Bravo, calling CQ40 meters, CQ40 meters, kilowatt zero, radio Whiskey Bravo, calling CQ, any stations, anywhere. CQ40 meters, kilowatt zero, radio Whiskey Bravo, calling CQ on 40, kilowatt zero, radio Whiskey Bravo, calling CQ, K0RWB, Randy in Kansas City, calling CQ, any stations, anywhere. CQ40 meters, CQ40 meters, CQ, kilowatt zero, radio Whiskey Bravo, calling CQ, CQ40 meters, CQ40 meters, CQ, kilowatt zero, radio Whiskey Bravo, calling CQ, K0RWB, calling CQ, any stations, anywhere. Station, come back with your call again, please. We'll try one more time. Station, come back with your call sign, please. Did I copy Whiskey 8, question mark? Well, I'm not able to pull you out there. Give it a few minutes and we'll try it again and see what happens. But please hang in there. Maybe the band will improve for us a little bit. K0RWB, kilowatt zero, radio Whiskey Bravo, calling CQ on 40. CQ40 meters. Kilowatt zero, radio Whiskey Bravo, calling CQ, any stations, anywhere. CQ40 meters, CQ40 meters, CQ40 meters, CQ40 meters, CQ, kilowatt zero, radio Whiskey Bravo, calling CQ40 meters, CQ40 meters, kilowatt zero, radio Whiskey Bravo, calling CQ, any stations, anywhere. It's going to be a fun night. It's going to be a great night for radio. Kilowatt zero, radio Whiskey Bravo, QRZ. Any stations, anywhere. Come with your call sign, please. Kilowatt zero, radio Whiskey Bravo, CQ on 40 meters, QRZ. Any other stations, come with your call, please. Getting close. Kilo Bravo 2, Quebec, question mark. Well, we're getting closer. I got a lot of static on my end, and my apologies. I got Kilo Bravo 2, Quebec, Bravo, question mark. I copy Bravo X-ray. It could be that one. Kilo Bravo 2, Quebec Bravo X-ray. We did work before, if I've got the call correct. Would this be Benny? Go ahead. Yeah, Benny. Hey, thanks hanging in there, my friend. Nice to hear you again. Yeah, it's a little challenging on my end as well. I think maybe it might be a little early for me. We've got some weather in the area, and we do have quite a few static crashes, but we wanted to give it a go. We've been off the air for a little over a week with some technical issues, and we had some time tonight and kind of reorganized the shack and called CQ, and nice to hear you out there out of Long Island there. Go ahead. Oh, if I told you we were doing bad, it wouldn't make any difference. You could complain and don't do any good. So, oh, it is what it is, of course. But, I guess if the band conditions were great all the time, it just wouldn't be fun. It wouldn't be radio. So we'll just work the band here the best we can and kind of see what happens. I like to think we're up to strength here. We did have to pull the radio out of Studio B to bring up here to Studio A. We're now calling it Studio A minus. The Yaesu is off to California, and it is in a non-operating configuration. So luckily, we've got the old standby 7300 here in the shack. So we're going to call this Studio A minus. There, go ahead. Well, Benny, thank you very much for the kind words, and the 100 watts on the wire is working. Again, I've got these little crashes that are kind of intermittent, so that's what's messing up my receive. Otherwise, you're about 5 and 5 to 5 and 6 in between the crashes. But, hey, thank you so much for coming back to the CQ. I was beginning to wonder if we were talking to ourselves, and I think we're overdue. I'm showing a contact March 24th. On 20 meters, so nice to hear you down here on 40, and that's a new band for us as well. So, hey, be safe and be well, 73s, and have a great Memorial Day coming up if I don't have a chance to connect in the meantime. And I look forward to working you again out of Long Island. Thank you very, very much for the contact tonight. Kilo Bravo 2, Quebec Bravo X-ray, a Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. We'll say 73s, my friend. Okay, sounds great. Thanks again, Benny. Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Randy in Kansas City, QRZ. Any other stations? Come with your call sign, please. Hey, K0, RWB, calling QRZ. Any stations anywhere? K0, RWB, QRZ.
Kilowatt Delta 8, Papa Quebec Echo.
Yeah, I got that one. Kilo Delta 8, Papa Quebec Echo. Hey, Bill, how are you this evening?
Hey, Randy, how you doing? I just heard you out there hollering, and I just saw you were on YouTube. I'm getting ready to fold up the shop, but I thought I'd give you a ring. So, anyway.
Well, I appreciate that. Nice signal, though. Other than the noise on the band, I just had you at 10 over at that time. Yeah, again, feel like I'm starting all over again. We've been off the air for a little over a week with some radio technical issues, and we got the shack kind of put back together, and wanted a chance to get out to try to make a few contacts this evening, make sure everything's working. And, of course, the conditions aren't the best like usual, but I guess if they were great, we wouldn't have much fun with it there, Roger.
Roger, I worked 2 additional countries today, so this evening, rather, so I was pretty happy. So it's worked well for me. I got that inset antenna in the attic, so I keep making contacts. I'm up to 23 countries in 3 months, so I'm happy. Probably 100 parks on the air, somewhere around there, and about, 340 QSOs. So I'm doing all right. At some point, I'd like to catch you with and do some audio playing around, but it doesn't do any good if it's all noisy like this on your end. But I see you got an audio scope. You got a different setup. What's going on there?
Well, I had to make a phone call last week to Yaesu, and the FTDX10 was not putting out any power. And between the reset and everything I did, the technician on the phone doing some things that he suggested, and he said send her in. So and we didn't have this radio. We had this loaned out to a neighbor down the street, so we were without a radio. That's why we've been off the air for so long. Just not trying to hey, I need that thing real back right now kind of thing, but so it's a fluke. The 7300 does not have that audio or video port. The 7610 does, of course. So this is a third-party software that we used in the beginning when we had this radio back in January. So we kind of put it together, the best we could. It's something different to look at. It's not the same as the FTDX10, but she's in a box getting ready to be shipped out. So that's the short or long story there, Roger.
Oh, that's too bad, Roger. You don't think you got hit by lightning, do you?
Well, I don't think so. We when we have weather in the area, not only do I unplug, but I pull them out of the shack and stick them underneath the bed. Not even close to any coax or electrical or anything else. So even the technician was a little taken aback by it. And you can't get upset. It's just the way it is. And he says, we'll send you out the shipping ticket, via email. And he says, we are back to work, but unfortunately, it could be 3 to 4 weeks. And I said, well, that's okay. I said, amateur radio, 2 is 1 and 1 is none. So at least we have this as a backup.
Roger, but these are very sophisticated things. I put on the IC7410. I got it used about 4 years ago. It sat in the box for 4 years, and but it does pretty good. And but to me, it's almost like I feel like with all the controls and everything and all the filters, I feel like when I sit down, it's not really a radio. It's almost like I'm sitting at a computer. Over.
Yeah, I know that feeling. And I'm kind of the same way with both of these radios. And after running the FTDX10 as long as I did, now I'm trying to get back to this and trying to figure out where the menus are at, where to change this, how to set that. So I'm starting all over again, even with audio. I have no idea. I've got my headphones on. I have no idea what the audio is like. I'm sure at some point I'll get told or what have you. It sounds okay in my headphones, but the FTDX10 did, but on the air it sounded terrible, so we had to make an adjustment both ways. But we'll get it straightened out there after all. Go ahead.
Yeah, I understand. It took me, I don't know. I still don't know how to use everything on this radio. I've only used it for a little less than 3 months, and I've gotten really good at tuning in on the adjustments to hear. So since I have an antenna in the attic, that's the most important. I actually seem to get out fairly well, and I've not figured out how. The antenna goes 20 feet, turns at a 90-degree angle, goes at another 20 feet, and then turns again, and it kind of is in the shape of a U. It's an infed. But I don't know. I've done rather well with it, and it's only in the attic, and it's a new house, so it shouldn't work in-house, right? But it works. Actually, I'm happy. Let's just put it like this. I've been really tickled, so I don't want to hold you up. I'm going to give it back to you, and so I'm going to, Randy, I appreciate what you're doing. I'm sorry to hear about your radio, but I'm sure you'll get it fixed, and I sincerely appreciate what you're doing and all that you've done in 73. Thank you.
I appreciate it very much, Bill. And, you know, getting back to your antenna real quick, when you get it right, you get it right. And, you know, if you're doing that well where it's at, you know, then I wouldn't touch a thing. And I say the same thing about this dipole. It's 38 foot off the side of the tower, and it's in the weirdest configuration, but it seems to work and quite well. I've already talked out to Long Island, and I keep telling everybody and myself I'm going to tilt the tower down and put it a little bit higher in the air, and I'm just afraid to mess with it. It seems to be working, so I'm not going to fool with it. I'm really not. It's not in the way. It doesn't hurt in the back deck at all. It's all the ones over on the side of the tree. It's working fine. You're doing well. You've been averaging 10 over, really consistent. So that's great. So again, whatever advice it's worth, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I'm thinking I'm doing the same thing on myself. Anyway, that's the last I'm going to say about it. But I appreciate the kind thoughts. But hey, we're still on the air. We're going to get her done. We're going to have some fun in the process, and we're going to see if we can make some contacts with reoccurring contacts and maybe some new ones as well. Bill, thank you so much for giving us a call. I do appreciate it. Great signal, working well for you. Hey, have a great Memorial Day coming up. We're going to try to be out yet again tonight or two, and we're taking this show on the road like we did a couple of weeks ago. We've got everything packed beside the radio. We're going to be heading east along the thing called the Katy Trail. We're going to have the antennas and so forth, so we're going to try to go portable. Whether people will be on the air or not, who knows. But anyway, enjoy the rest of your evening. Look forward to working you again. If you hear us out there, please call back like you had in the past, and I know we'll just pick it up where we left off. Kilo Delta 8, Papa Quebec Echo, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thank you again, Bill, 7-3s. Okay, we'll clear with Bill, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. QRZ, any other stations? Come with your call sign, please. Oh, what a great night. CQ 40 meters, CQ 40, CQ 40 meters, CQ 40 meters. Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Call in CQ on 40, CQ 40, CQ 40 meters. Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Call in CQ, any stations, anywhere. CQ 40, CQ 40, CQ 40 meters. CQ 40, CQ 40 meters. CQ 40 meters. CQ 40 meters. Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Call in CQ, any stations, anywhere. CQ 40, CQ 40 meters. CQ 40, CQ 40, CQ 40, CQ 40, CQ 40 meters. CQ 40 meters. CQ 40, CQ 40 meters. CQ 40, CQ 40, CQ 40 meters. CQ. Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Call in CQ. K0 RWB, calling CQ, any stations, anywhere. CQ 40, CQ 40, CQ 40 meters, CQ 40 meters, CQ 40, 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 CQ 40, CQ 40 meters, CQ, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo, calling CQ, CQ 40 meters, CQ 40, CQ 40 meters. Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Calling CQ, CQ.
Whiskey Alpha 10, Whiskey Bravo 5, Bravo, November Oscar.
Whiskey Bravo 5 again, please. Was there a Whiskey Bravo 5 again?
Whiskey Bravo 5, Bravo,
Well, let's see if I got it right in between the crashes there. The weather's having fun tonight. Was it Whiskey Bravo 5, Bravo, November, Oscar? Okay, fine business. Hey, thanks for giving us a call there. Thank you again for answering the CQ. Again, the name here is Randy, and we are 35 miles east of downtown Kansas City, Missouri. There, go ahead.
I just took it around so I can holler and see what's going on. And get here, stop up, over here to stop. It's been raining all day long. And it's a quick move here, and then about 50 foot, later it's start raining again. So it's something.
Yeah, Wayman. Yeah, I've heard that now a couple of times down in your part of the country. There, we also got into over in Arkansas as well, and by Danville, and said you guys had some weather in the area. Apparently, you have it there as well, and yeah, it's been one of those years. It seems like the rain is off and on, at least in my part of the country as well. I'd like to have a couple of days of some sunshine. I know we needed a rain here and there to fill up the lakes and reservoirs, what have you, but I think it's time to dry out for a little bit there. Go ahead.
How's my signal? I'm on my own camera here. I like the old Kenwood. I think I like it much better than my O2 radios. Over.
Yeah, you know, I'm wondering if this weather is starting to mess with the equipment as well. You know, with all the electricity in the air and what have you, kind of makes you wonder if it's kind of playing around with us as well. There, I hope it doesn't mess up people's equipment. But boy, I tell you, the way this weather has been so far this spring, it has been real doozy. Haven't heard about a lot of severe weather. I hope it stays that way, but by golly, I don't know about you, but I'd sure like to have a chance to dry out there. Go ahead.
Yeah, me too. I had to shut down today. I guess around noon, and we get some lightning, and I shut the radio down, unplug the antenna. I was going to hit my light, and then I come out a couple hours later, and there wasn't no lightning or thunder, lightning, and so I just took everything back up and started playing radio again. Over.
Yeah, it's kind of like, well, it's going to rain. I put my rain gear on, and then it sprinkles for a few minutes, and then it's cleared, and you take it back off again, and it starts to rain. You could have put it back on again. So, yeah, the same way with equipment. Looks like rain is coming or weather's coming. You break everything down, you put it away, and then you bring it back out again. That's never a good feeling for sure. But yeah, again, I think the worst case would be getting to us. So It would not be fun if we get any harsh weather. So again, if it has to be weather and it's a gentle rain or what have you, I'm okay with that. No big downpours or whatever. I know around my area the ground is really saturated and the creeks are getting a little higher and so are the reservoirs, but we certainly can't stop it. We sure like a chance to slow it down there. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Frank? Frank sometime. And I checked about 10 minutes ago. I quit raining, and now it's kind of light drizzle right now. It's probably come on into heavy rain. I haven't checked it. That's a few minutes.
Yeah, again, that light rain, will catch up to you just as much as them hard rains, and I don't know if the antenna is working like it should. Maybe it works through there, maybe it don't. It's hard to tell, but like I said, I just hope if we don't end up with any severe weather. I hate to see anybody get in a situation where they have to duck and cover, so to speak. But let's just hope it'll and one of these days it'll clear out. At least I hope. We're getting real close to June here, so that's usually a pretty dry month for my part of the country. I hope it ends up that way. So, hey, Wayman, thanks for giving us a call. We got a few more minutes to make a couple more contacts, and then we're going to end up with our time there. But, hey, nice to hear you again down there in Oklahoma. And looks like this is, I think, our third contact. Appreciate you taking the time to give us a call, and always nice to talk with you. You know what they say, keep your head down, hopefully, and keep them water boots nearby, and maybe a boat as well. I hope we all have a chance to dry out here real soon. Hey, be safe and be well. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and if I don't talk to you again, have a great Memorial Day weekend as well. I'll say 7 3s to you now. Whiskey Bravo 5, Bravo November Oscar, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thank you again, Wayman. Take care. Okay, you take care. Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo, QRZ. Any other stations? Come with your call sign, please.
Norway 5, Oscar Delta X-ray.
Well, I think I heard a Norway 5 station again.
Yes, Norway 5, Oscar Delta X-ray, N5 ODM.
Okay, November 5, Oscar Delta X-ray. Bill, good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening. I'm doing well. Just put an old hybrid 830 Kenwood back on the air, and I was checking it out. Over.
Well, it sounds good in my receive. The name here is Randy, and the QTH, we're about 35 miles east of downtown Kansas City, Missouri. Probably not a long shot as a crow flies between us, but you know what the way the band conditions are, I'll take any contact I can get there. Go ahead. Well, I know everybody's been dealing with the weather here lately, and of course my part of the country as well. As I was telling Wayman there, he's up in Oklahoma. It's time to dry out. I really think it's really time to dry out, but don't have any control. And the call is Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo, red, white, and blue there. Go ahead.
Nice call. K0, red, white, blue. 5 ODS. Well, this is our second 830 in the fleet, as it were. We went down to Huntsville, Texas today, and there we drove up from Houston, and just got it online, got it going, got it hooked up to the VFO 230, so hopefully the signal's kind of stable. Running a little bit of power here, about 300 watts. Using the 830 as the exciter and the Ameritron AL811 as the amplifier. And the antenna is a end-fed random wire about 175 feet long. Not very high, about 15 feet above the ground, Randy. Over.
Well, it's working, no doubt. And your radio, in my receive, you're on frequency. It sounds good. It's very clear, very audible. It has a little bit of fidelity to it as well. Of course, again, the conditions aren't the best. We've got some static and QSB, QRM to deal with as well. But again, no problems copying you at all. I think if I pulled it in right, it looks like you're around Temple, Texas area. Again, 600 miles as the crow flies, as they say. But, the band kind of dictates that. That's okay with me. Not much difference here. We're in what we now call Studio A minus. We have a Studio A and a Studio B. The Studio A radio is a Yaesu FTDX10 that is on its way back to California to Yaesu. Apparently, it's not putting out any power. And we had this radio loaned down the street, so we were without a radio for about 4 or 5 or 6 days. I can't remember anymore. This is the ICOM 7300. Of course, I think there's a few of them out there. So we took this out of Studio B, reconfigured Studio A, as I've been told what they call it, and we are on the air. We've got a 40-meter dipole off the side of the tower, about 38 foot, and we're running about 650 to 700 watts out of the ACOM 1000, and running the mic is a Heil ICM, which seems to pair up really well with the 7300. Nothing fancy.
Piece of equipment I'm running here, and when I say this, it's going to be tongue-in-cheek there, Randy. I'm running the CPRC equalization system on my MC50 microphone, and you probably already figured out that that's a toilet bowl, hanky long cylinder straight over the microphone. And the further down you go, the more ratchet you get, the further towards the top of the mic, the more DX goes.
Yeah, I certainly understand that, and again, the way it sounds, if you wouldn't have told me what it was, it would be just as, sounds as good in any of the new radios now. I will say this, though, Kenwood has a unique audio tone to it, and you can try to disguise it or muffle it with different microphones, but, there's just a little different sound with them. We started off in our ham career in Kenwood, and just kind of moved away as time progressed. But you can always tell a little bit different. But I can just tell that again, it sounds great in my receive. Sometimes the older radios will drift a little bit when they warm up, but you've been dead solid the entire time. So I think you've got yourself a keeper there. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, we're using the digital VFO, the VFO 230. The analog VFO, they will drift a little bit. The digital VFO 230 seems to keep them on track. Yeah, the solar flares there, a couple of days ago, really didn't bump the numbers up a whole lot, but the bands really came up. I've been working Indonesia on 40 meters in the morning and 20 meters in the morning. Went to Jakarta and Bali and 2 or 3 other of the islands of Indonesia, as well as several Japanese stations. So, Randy, I appreciate you picking us up tonight, and I appreciate you taking your time to give me a report on the old 830 here. I really appreciate that. They have a super engine there, and stay safe during all the storms. We drove up from Huntsville, Texas today, where we picked up this radio. It's about 180 miles from here. My goodness, we got some real belly washers there, almost to the point where you couldn't see the drive. Lots of lightning to go along with it. If it's headed your way, be safe. And thanks again, K0, red, white, and blue, N5 ODS.
Well, that's great, Bill, and thank you again for giving us a call. I didn't mention it earlier, but I'll tell you now before we leave. If you'd like to know what you sound like on the air, we're actually live right now on YouTube, but it's also recording. So if you want to hear what that 830 sounds like on the air, you can go to my YouTube channel one of two ways. You can look me up in QRZ, and I have a link. You can click on the link, and you look for today's video with the date, or you can go right to YouTube, go to the search bar, and put in my call sign and do the same thing again. But this will give you a chance to hear that 830 on the air there, Roger. You betcha. And what you could probably do as well, Bill, and I'll let you go. We've been out here for about 36 minutes, and we probably started about 32 minutes in. So you can listen to them all, or you could kind of fast forward to around 32 minutes in, and that'd give you a pretty good idea where we started. So give a look and a listen, and if you're interested to hear us again when we come out here live, there's a little notification bell. You can click on that whenever I go live. You'll know when we're out here, because we're going to be going by portable, remote, and live streaming here over Memorial Day week up on the Katy Trail. So we're going to be doing this again, and hopefully the rest of the week as well. Be safe and be well. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend as well as it comes up, and the rest of your evening, and appreciate it very much. You enjoy your night. November 5, Oscar Delta X-Ray, a Kilowatt Zero, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thank you again, sir. 7-3s. Yeah, it never fails. I type it correct and I say it wrong. I got November 5 Oscar Delta X-ray. It's in the log correctly, I promise. Hey, have a good evening. Take care. K0RWB will be clear. QRZ. Any other stations? Come with your call sign, please.
Q0 Radio India Charlie. K0RIC.
Is that K0RIB? No, that's got to be K0RIC. Rick in Pittsburgh. How you doing there, brother?
Kilo Zero Radio India Charlie. This is Rick.
Oh, I knew who it was. I just having some fun with you, Rick. What's happening down in Pittsburgh tonight?
Oh, not much. I can hear you pretty good down here. I don't really have any much of a noise level here, so even though you're about S5 to S6 there, one time you got up to S7, so good clear copy down here anyway. I'm throwing about 600 watts at you there from down here. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know, every little bit helps, of course, considering it looks like we're 117 miles as a crow flies, so it is what it is. But, yeah, usually we're not able to make that contact. I've got some static here on my end. I know there's some weather in the area that's been off and on all day around here, and it's going to be with us for the next couple of days. Go figure, like it has been for the last couple of weeks. But nice, clear copy on you as well. You're about 5.7 in the receive here there. Go ahead.
Well, that's good. I'll have to go back and listen to that. I'm changed it on there, so I'll be able to go back and see what we sound like. The mobile started up. I tried it out the other night, and man, I'll tell you, I was on the parking lot, and I was 20 over into upstate New York with that thing with only 100 watts. So, yeah, the motor works pretty good, I guess.
Oh, that's terrific. You know, and I've not had any luck whatsoever trying to set up a mobile operation, so I gave up. Portable, I go okay. Mobile, I've had no luck whatsoever, but it's either propagation, you got it grounded right, the antenna's working properly, or a combination of all three. But man, that's great to get 20 over and into New York mobile. That's pretty awesome.
So I put my 75-meter stick on there and got it all zeroed down.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I mean, more power to you. I think that's terrific. Again, I've not had any success whatsoever mobile. So people who do, I certainly do applaud them. I think that's great. I've just not been that fortunate. Like I said, a remote, portable kind of thing. Now, when I mean remote, I'm not talking. I'm tied into the system back in the home QTH. I'm talking remote out in the boonies and portable as well. I've been fairly successful in that, but mobile, oh gosh, no. So if you're able to rotate antennas and get that kind of performance, man, you've really got it dialed in there. Go ahead.
Secret to it is that little coil that you get. See, I bought that big tri-magnet mount associated, and I bought, I think it was their last one. There's a little coil you can get that you put that up there, and you tap it to ground in the middle usually, and that's what makes those ham sticks come alive. Because when I first did it years ago on my pickup truck, I used the ham stick. It was all right, but it wasn't anything spectacular. And when somebody told me about that little coil you put down there on the bottom, it's got a little hole-like thing, and you screw the antenna through it down to the big magnet mount, and then you have a tap on it that you hook to ground, and you tap that coil, and that's what makes that thing come alive. I mean, it just makes them absolutely jump up and reach out there. So that's kind of the secret to it.
Well, that's great. I guess then the secret is out. I didn't realize that something that would be, I guess, fairly that simple. I mean, I've dealt with coils. My portable antenna, the MP1, is a coil, basically manual screwdriver. So I'm sure it's the same principles. I didn't realize it would work that significantly mobile, but with a tri-magnet mount, I wouldn't expect that thing to go anywhere without taking the trunk lid or the roof or the hood, depending on where you got it put, without taking it with it. But again, it sounds like it's doing a great job, and this is probably the best I've heard you and my receive since we've been trying to kind of get QSOs together. So I don't know if the band is going to get a little better for us. It's going a little short, a little long. I'm not sure which, but it's been so many days since I've been out here. I just had to try to get out this evening and see what we could get done tonight. There, go ahead. Well, that's good to know. I mean, we've gotten into Oklahoma, got into Texas tonight, got into Arkansas, I talked to my friend Benny out in Long Island. Got to talk with him earlier, and also Bill. I'm trying to think, Ohio or Indiana. I kind of forget where he's at. He came in at about 10 over, pretty consistent. So we've been able to make a few contacts. It's not been one after another, and that's okay. I have no problems calling CQ and see if what's going to happen. I feel bad about pileups because I can't work them as fast as I'd like, but it is what it is, of course, and people I think have understood that. So, like you did, I make a call out there, and you come back with yours, and here we are, and that's kind of what it's all about, there, Roger.
Getting all those down either. When I did the special event that we all did, for Papa Phil, when those all started coming at me and those pileups and stuff like that, I was like, what? I couldn't type fast enough to get them all in that log there, so I was a little slow on the trigger.
Yeah, of course, when and you've been out, supporting me and the channel for a while, and you know that this is not set up for 5.9 QRZ, and and it's not set up for 10 or 15-minute QSO, so we try to find something in between. You know, if it's a contest or whatever, you know, we break it down by call letters or the last two of the call or the area, and I could probably do okay with that. But this is a little different. You know, again, I'm just trying to give everybody some equal time, trying to pull them out the best I can, and hopefully conditions work with us as well. And, you know, the other one, and you've done it a few times as well, I see it on the live chat, so I know I can pull it out there on the live chat as well there, Roger.
Yeah, I hear you. Oh, I had one the other night. You know, some people were talking about how 20 meters was staying open late at night. And right about 10:58 yesterday, 10:58 in the evening, I talked to Lithuania like they were sitting next door here, and LY5A was his call sign. I was surprised, you know, usually after it gets dark and everything, traditionally 20 meters used to shut down, but I couldn't believe it. I talked to Lithuania at almost 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, before we came out here on 40, I kind of went through the band to see you know, where there's activity, and 20 was really busy. I mean, they were really stacked on top of one another, and I just had a feeling, you know, as the time goes on, it'll start to drop off, and so we didn't want to start there on 20. We've been here now on 40 meters for 5 or 6 weeks or whatever the case may be, and I'll work 40 meters the best I can. You and I would probably not be able to talk on 20 or 17 or what have you, maybe on 10 from time to time, but you know, I'm gonna stay here on 40 and work the best I can, and if we go up on 20 meters or 17, whatever it is later on, we won't be live streaming, but we'll give it a chance. But when we're doing the live stream, we'll just sit here on 40 meters and make our contacts there, Roger. Okay, Rick. Hey, always a pleasure. Nice to have a chance to talk to you versus on the chat. So, yeah, the band is moving around. We'll see what happens here, but got a good QSO with you tonight. So, hey, be safe and be well as always. Enjoy the rest of your night. And if we don't talk with you again, have a good Memorial Day weekend as well. Kilo Zero, Romeo India Charlie, Kilowatt Zero, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thank you again, Rick. 7-3s. Okay, K0RWB QRZ. Any other stations? Come with your call sign, please. So we'll try it again. K0RWB, Kilowatt Zero, Radio Whiskey Bravo, reigning Kansas City. Call in CQ, QRZ. Any other stations? Come with your call.
K0, Juliet Foxtrot Bravo.
Was there a Kilo Zero again? The station ending Foxtrot Bravo. Give me your call again, please.
Kilo Zero, Juliet Foxtrot Bravo.
I got you that time. Kilo Zero, Juliet Foxtrot Bravo. James, how are you this evening?
I'm doing pretty good. Just put up a new dipole and I'm just trying to check it out.
Well, I think it's doing okay considering how close we are. Looks like you're over in O'Fallon. Not that far away at all. We're about 35 miles east of downtown Kansas City here on I-70. I'm sure you're familiar with that area as well. So nice to hear you this evening there. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're coming in here about plus 10.
Well, I'm glad to see that's working a little bit. I mean, I don't know if you've got any weather in your area. We've got some noise and some static crashes here. I know there's been some weather in the area. and I'm sure at some point it's going to be heading your direction. But yeah, you're a good solid 5'8", 5'9" in my receive. Sounds to me like the antenna's doing the job for you there. Go ahead.
Oh, that's good to know. What is your call sign again?
Yeah, you bet. The call is Kilowatt Zero Radio Whiskey Bravo, K0RWB, or red, white, and blue there, Roger. Well, I looked you up in QRZ. Looks like you're a new upgrade to general class. Is that a Roger?
Yeah, just a couple of weeks ago. I'm hoping to take the amateur extra this coming Saturday.
Oh, that's terrific. Good for you. Good for you. I think that's great. You get it done and get it out of the way. That's the way to do it. And the rest of it will fall in place, no doubt. But yeah, again, sounds good to hear my receive. Why don't you give me the rest of working conditions? What's the radio and the other equipment you're operating with? Go ahead.
Well, I've got a Yaesu FTDX101B, and it's a Buckmaster 4-band dipole.
Oh, terrific. Well, it's a terrific radio. Stock mic, or do you have a different microphone for it?
This is just the stock mic.
Yeah, that's terrific. You're going to be hard-pressed to outgrow that radio, that's for sure. We have the brother, or the whatever you want to call it to it, the FTDX10 that we got in February. Unfortunately, it has a little hiccup, and we have to send it back to Yaesu. It's not putting any output power. So it'll be going back to Yaesu in California. So luckily we have a backup. You'll find out real quick, James, that amateur radio 2 is 1 and 1 is none. So we have a backup rig. We've got an IC ICOM 7300 that we have here in our shack. This is Studio A minus because we don't have the FTDX10 in here. But we are on the air. We're making contacts. That's all you can talk about there. Go ahead.
This ICOM 7300 seems to be a really popular radio.
Yeah, it's been out, 4.5 years, 5 years, give or take. We didn't get this one until the end of January. We kind of went over to the dark side. Very popular radio. It has a lot of features to it. It's a great price point radio. I know they were offering rebates for a while. It's a $1,000 radio. That's very attractive for some people as a backup radio, as a primary radio, for mobile, for portable. So it has lots of different uses. We were using it, a little bit for FT8 and some other bands, but we took it out of the other location and brought it up here, and we'll use it until we get the other radio back there. Roger.
What kind of turnaround time do they have? Out there in California?
Well, when I talked to him the other day, and I guess you get assigned a technician or whatever, and this guy's name was Tim, and he says they're back to full staff. Everybody's back at work, but they're all trying to play catch up. And he said 3 to 4 weeks would probably be about the right type of turnaround. And I said, well, it is what it is. You can't get upset about it. He didn't build the radio. I didn't do anything to the radio. And they're just, they're backlogged and they're working the best they can. And I would rather them to take time to do it right than trying to rush and get stuff sent out that ends up going back again. So I said, do what you have to do. We have another radio we can use in the meantime. So it's not a big deal. But, if it takes 3 to 4 weeks, and so be it. As long as it's returned and it works properly, I'm all for it there, Roger.
Was that a fairly new radio, and what was the issue?
Well, we got the radio in February, and it was not giving any output power. I couldn't get it to work. I was on the phone with the technician as well. He told me to try a few different things, and I told him the results as we were trying it. And he says, it sounds like the finals. And I said, well, is that, is that a light switch type of thing? He says, yeah, 1 second they work, the next they don't. And he said he's not heard of this before, but he wasn't aware of any other issues. But you know, you really can't diagnose anything in full detail over the phone. So he said to send it back, and they're sending me a ship label. And we'll, like I said, we'll get it squared away. Love the radio. It's terrific radio. Same receiver that's in your rig. Transmit works, operates the same way. I mean, you've got the digital DNR on there. You got the, you know, the external monitor feature, which is great. Those are the two best features, I think, of the radio as well. So again, you know, they'll do their thing. We'll get it back, and we'll be back on the air there. Go ahead.
And what kind of an antenna are you operating right now?
I've got a 40-meter dipole. It's off the side of my tower, about 38 foot, and it's kind of an unusual configuration. But you know, one arm is down to the pointed to the southwest, maybe 5 foot off the ground, and the other arm is pointed to the northwest in a limb in a tree, probably 10 or 12 feet off the ground. So it's a very unusual configuration, but it does seem to work for us, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, I had a little trouble with getting the SWR and check on mine. Our homeowners association is pretty tough here, so mine is in the attic. And fortunately, it expands the entire peak of the roof on the inside. And but I had a little bit of issues with SWR. I got it down into about 1.1, 1.2 to 1 across all the bands.
Oh, well, that's great. I mean, you really can't ask for more than that. That's really good. And, you know, the lower it is, the more performance out of the antenna. I mean, the antenna is supposed to do all the work anyway. You know, the radio and microphone are supposed to be in the support role, but your antenna is supposed to do all the work. And if you're making contacts, well, then it's definitely working for you. Again, we're not that far away, and sometimes it's actually a hindrance. It's a little harder to work close in. It is farther out, of course. But I've got no problems hearing you. It sounds very good in my receive. Your audio is nice and clear. You know, it's very audible. So I think you've got it working quite well for you there.
Well, that's good. We're fairly new at this, and it's been a little bit of a struggle, but now we're really having fun with it.
Yeah, you know, it's a terrific hobby. Yeah, I don't know. You know, I saw that you did an upgrade, or you got your general on the 18th or thereabout of the month, or how long you've been a ham since that point. But I mean, it's a wonderful hobby. You'll see and meet some of the nicest people in the world. You may never meet in person, but you become good friends on the air. And you know, people are full of information. You know, advice, opinions on things, and so forth, and I think that's terrific. I've been here on 40 meters now about 7 or 8 weeks. I do a live stream in the evening. I probably should have mentioned that earlier, but we're actually live streaming right now, James, and it's recording as well. So if you're interested in listening to our QSO, you could go to my channel and put that in, of course. But again, you're going to meet some of the greatest people in the world. And the thing that you don't want to do is don't be afraid to ask questions or find out what people are doing or how they're making their antenna work a little better or how they set up their audio and different things. The audio in my FTDX10 is from a friend of mine who has a 101D as well, and it sounded terrific. Again, you know, it's just not working at the moment. Well, we'll get that squared away. This is fairly close, but not quite the same as the Yaesu, but that's just the way it is. But anyway, you're going to have a great time with the hobby.
We're really looking forward to it. Are you hanging out on this?
Yeah, my YouTube channel is my call, K0RWB. You can get to it one of two ways. You can go to my QRZ and look me up in QRZ. I've got a link. You can click on the link. It'll show you the most current video. Or you can go to YouTube itself, go to the search bar, and just type in my call, K0RWB. And probably about 55 minutes in, you could fast forward to that part. It's about when we started there. Go ahead.
Sounds really good. K0RWB. K0JFP, and hopefully this
Hey, listen, I hope we have a chance to work again. Nice to get first contact with us. Again, congratulations on the Journal, and also I'm going to go ahead and give you congrats on the extra. I have a feeling you'll do okay with that as well. So, be safe and be well. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We're going to try to make a few more contacts before we got to shut it down. And also have a good Memorial Day weekend if we don't have a chance to hook up with you in the meantime. So if you hear us out here again, by all means, give us a call, and we'll just kind of pick it up where we left off. So in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your night. Kilo Zero, Juliet Foxtrot Bravo, Kilowatt Zero, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thanks again, 7-3s. Okay, K0RWB, QRZ. If any other stations, come with your call sign, please. And we tried again. Kilowatt Zero, Radio Whiskey Bravo, QRZ. Any other stations here on 40 meters? QRZ. Any stations, come with your call. Oh, surely there's more than this out here. CQ 40 meters. We'll say CQ 40 meters. CQ 40. Kilowatt Zero, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Calling CQ on 40. CQ K0RWB. Calling CQ, QRZ, any stations, anywhere. Well, K0RWB, we're going to QSX, take a short standby. We'll be back in a few minutes. K0RWB, QSX. K0RWB, we are going to QSY to 14238, 20 meters, 14238, 238. K0RWB going to QSY to 14238. CQ20, CQ20 meters, CQ20, 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 CQ20 meters, CQ20 meters, CQ20 meters, CQ20 meters. Kilowatt Zero, Radio Whiskey Bravo, calling CQ20 meters, CQ20 meters. Kilowatt Zero, Radio Whiskey Bravo, calling CQ, any station, anywhere. CQ20 meters, CQ20 CQ 20 meters. CQ, CQ, CQ 20 meters. CQ 20, CQ 20 meters. CQ, CQ, kilowatt 0, radio Whiskey Bravo. Call in CQ, CQ, CQ 20 meters. CQ 20, CQ 20, kilowatt 0, radio Whiskey Bravo. Call in CQ, any station, anywhere.
November 8, X-ray Zulu Yankee, Ohio.
Whiskey Kilo.
The November 8 station again, please.
Alpha 8 Ocean Fox Charlie.
X-ray Zulu Yankee, Ohio.
I copy Ohio. Slow down the calls. Let me get it again. November 8 again. Question mark.
All right, that's fine.
November 8, X-ray Zulu Yankee. November 8, X-ray Zulu Yankee, Ohio.
Okay, my apologies. Many stations coming in there couldn't quite pull it. November 8, X-ray Zulu Yankee. Got you that time. I think we worked before, if I thought. Looks like maybe possible. Up by Cleveland. Hey, thanks for giving us a call. The handle here is Randy. We are 35 miles east of downtown Kansas City, Missouri. Go ahead.
Hey, that's it, Roger, Randy. I think we talked before. 73 to you, and I'm going to let you go because I know a lot of people are calling you up there. Have a nice day. 73, have a good contact.
Yeah, no problem. Again, I apologize for grabbing the call. I didn't think it'd be that busy that quick. But, yeah, the voice is very familiar, and the call as well. And so I appreciate it very much for coming back to the CQ. Hey, be safe and be well. Have a great Memorial Day coming up as well. We'll say 7-3s. Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Clear. QRZ, any other stations? K0 RWB, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo, calling CQ on 20, QRZ. Any other stations, please?
November 2, Uniform Zulu Kilo.
Nice signal. Sounds like Glenn. Boy, when's the last time we've talked on 20 meters?
It was probably a couple weeks back. You were talking to those two guys that live right next to one another, and I was just tuning through the frequencies because I don't have a 40-meter antenna that's going to make it all the way to where you are.
Oh, so what you're saying is I should stay here on 20 meters so you and I can talk.
I just figured you were trying to get away from me and staying on 40, that's all.
No, but when we made that switch is because 20 was not in good shape at all in the afternoons, and we struggled that one day for about an hour, and I said, let's go down to 40, and it just blew up, and it's been like that until tonight. It's been a struggle tonight. But again, I've been out of pocket now for, 5 or 6 days or whatever the case may be. Technical issues. The FTDX-10's on its way to California. She stopped working on me, so we had to pull the 7300 out of Studio B. So we're calling this Studio A-.
Yeah, I just had the opposite problem. I was trying to use my Mercury amplifier with my Diamond BB7 Victor antenna, and the antenna only can handle 250 watts, and the 101D won't won't drive it out anything less than 5 watts. So when I was trying to talk to Alex last night, with 5 watts going in, I think he was on 7.190 or something like that. Well, anyway, with 5 watts going in, my radio was putting out almost 500 watts. So I figured, if I try to make a contact that way, I'll melt my antenna. But luckily, the conditions were good enough that I could just hook up the antenna directly, not bypass the amplifier. And with 100 watts, I was able to get a QSO with them.
Well, that's great. That's really good. And that last go round, 7,300 meters, whatever they are, you're past the plus 20 mark. So yeah, that's a signal I'm not used to seeing on 40 meters, but it seems to work here.
Just to make like right now I'm putting out 1,000 watts. Just to make the call usually, and then I back it off. But right now I'm putting 20 watts in and getting 1,000 watts out.
Well, that's terrific. I don't have that issue. I wish I did, but on this rig, it's 50%, and it's anywhere from about 640 to 720. Depends on my voice inflection, but I guess that's okay. I mean, there's a lot more left. I try to keep it around 7 to 750 anyway. I don't think I need to use much more than that. We're a little bit better up here, of course, because we got the hex beam, so we can point it down your direction. That's probably why you're coming as good as you are. But again, the band just was not very good. So we had such a great time on 40. I really hated to leave and go anywhere else, but it kind of died out. So we QS wide. We could let everybody know on the live stream that we were moving up to 20 meters. Maybe we'll have a chance to grab a few more as well.
Okay, I just cranked it back down to, now I have 5 watts going in on this frequency. I have 380 coming out. And so I don't know if you can see a difference between when I was putting 20 in or putting 5 in.
Well, you're still plus 20. You're still plus 20, and I'm running 50 watts right now.
Yeah, okay, well, you're going from 10 to 20 over here also. So I guess we must have a pipeline.
Well, I think we always did before, actually, and that's the other thing about Mark down in Daytona Beach, Alpha 1 Indy Alpha. We always did really well on 20, but we struggled on 40, and I'm surprised he hasn't picked up on it since we're streaming. I thought he would have got that notification, probably looking around for us, but knowing him, he's probably out and about doing something that's probably more fun than sitting in front of the radio. I'm sure his weather has probably gotten better, so I'm sure he's enjoying the evening.
Yeah, the band has been, I'll tell you, I usually check in every morning on the Intercon net, and there's a Jesse up in Lehigh, I think he's in Lehigh Valley, or some mountains up in Pennsylvania, and I always talk to him, and there's another station, Enrique, and he's down in Miami, and I can never hear him in Miami. He's 200 miles away, and I never hear him on the 14300. So one day he calls me after I finished talking to Jesse, and I was struggling to get through up to Pennsylvania, and it was Enrique, and he's doing like 30 over from Miami, and we had an armchair conversation, as much as you can have on the Intercon net. But I go from a guy that I never hear to having someone coming in with one of the strongest signals I've ever seen.
Well, again, isn't that the great thing about amateur radio? You don't know what you're going to get, or where you're going to go, and how the band is. I told somebody earlier, if the conditions were good day in and day out, we'd all get bored and it just wouldn't be any fun. But when you have a little bit of a challenge with the noise or where the band is or what have you, or congested frequencies, then it makes it a little harder and it means a little bit more when you make those contacts. But yeah, to have something like that close, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, especially on 20 meters. Hey, I don't know if I talked to you since I put all your settings in. This is right now I'm talking to you with the settings that you sent me in that email.
Well, it sounds good to me. It's just about as clear as it can be. Of course, go to listen to it yourself there on the channel. Listen to the playback. But yeah, I love it. I think it sounds terrific in my headphones.
Okay, that's good. I just was hoping that it would just be. I know I'm not like Doug. I'm not that guy. He's an audiophile, man. He put another thing in there today. He got that Maxima, Golden Maxima, whatever it is, that friend of Alex makes over in Spain, and he designed a special one for him for his setup. I mean, I can't believe the amount of work that Doug puts in for his audio, but it's worth it. I mean, he sounds great.
He does. He's got to be careful, though, because there are many instances he's running 4kc wide, and, that can get yourself in a little bit of trouble there if he's not careful. But, I understand what he's doing, and I certainly am all for it. I just, I always kind of lean a little bit more on the more cautious side. But, hey, if that's how he wants to operate, fine. I go to his channel all the time. He comes to my channel too. I certainly don't have anything against it. I wouldn't do it. I'm working with what I got right here, and as long as people can understand what I'm saying, I'm good. But I understand what he's doing, and he does have a certain appeal, and I hope it works for him.
Yeah, with his new radio, I don't know if he's running that wide. I was listening to him when he's working with another operator that has that same radio that he has when he was trying to get it set up. And I told him, looking at the screen on his stream, it's like looking at the controls in Elon Musk's Dragon capsule. I mean, it's. I told him it's way beyond my capabilities.
Yeah, and he's ever since I've started having contact with him and been to his channel, it's he's got a lot more buttons to push, turn, and pull than I ever want to deal with, of course. But once I try to get stuff dialed in, I like to leave it alone and get it set. So we had to kind of start over with this setup. It's a little bit different than what we had with the FTDX10, but so far so good. It's a little easier to set up than the FTDX10, and we'll work this until the other radio shows up, and hopefully we'll get back on the air with it and continue to go. But yeah, for some reason it just decided it didn't want to do any more work for me.
Yeah, that's terrible. I always fear that happening. That I don't know what. I got my old Kenwood here, but like I told you once before, when I turn that on, the receive is so bad, and after you have the receivers that these Yaesus have, and I just couldn't go back to that. I want to put it in my RV just to use it when I'm camping, but still having to suffer through that receiver is not what I look forward to.
Yeah, there's certainly a difference even with this one as well. I keep wanting to hit the DNR and try to filter out some of the noise, and it's just not there. So we're getting everything packed. We're leaving Thursday for the weekend. We're heading east, going up to a place on the Katy Trail, which runs through one side of the state to the other. And we are going to be about within 50 feet of the trail itself. Would be pretty cool. But we planned on taking all the equipment like we did a couple weeks ago down south, and run portable out of our camper, and we were going to run everything off battery, of course. And we've got everything packed, and we were going to take the FTDX10 because we could do the external monitor display. But now that it's kind of on we're going to have to take this one, which is fine. We just have a different radio display in the VFO. And the power settings, but you still get to see my ugly face on camera, so it's not all bad.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mounted a bracket to the back bumper of I have a Class C RV. I mounted on the back bumper. I made a bracket, and I got a mast I put up, and I can just take my Diamond, the BB7V, and I can mount that right to it. And I made myself up a coax the right length and a power cord, and I put a cigarette lighter or a DC power jack, whatever you want to call it. I put it in right next to the table that's in the back, so I can set everything up right there, plug it in, work it off the battery, and I have a solar charger to keep the battery charged. So yeah, I haven't tried it yet, and I got it all set up. I just haven't tried it yet. Talking about camping, I think it was last weekend, the weekend before. We went. We took the kids and grandkids over to there's a town in Florida called Arcadia, and it's on the Peace River. And the interesting thing there is we made some sifters out of some screen and some pieces of wood, and you go there and you just dig up at the edge of the water. You dig up the mud and you throw it in your sifter and you shake it, and you get all kinds of shark's teeth, and some of them are fossilized inside of like little rocks. And we got a whole bunch of them. And, the grandkids are really happy.
That's terrific. And that's something they'll remember for a long time to come too. Because it's something a little unusual. You go to the store and you see them on the shelf or something. It's not quite the same as you're out there, working for it. And I think that's a pretty cool deal. That's really cool. And we don't have that opportunity here, of course. But yeah, I can see that being very entertaining. Keeps them busy, keeps them away from the digital technology, at least for a short period of time. So, hey Rick, we're going to make a couple more calls here. We got till about the end of the bottom of the hour here before I got to shut it down and get some other stuff done. But we're back on 20 here, at least for the evening, and nice to get a chance to talk with you. Never had a signal that strong for that long, but you've been constant 20 over the entire time. So the equipment is working. So is the amplifier, because it didn't seem to make much difference when you dropped your wattage down or not. But I'll take it the way it is. So no problems at all. And by all means, thanks for giving me a little heads up there on the chat as well. I appreciate that. So hey, listen, have a great night. If I do talk with you again before Memorial Day, fine. If not, have a great weekend coming up, and I hope you and yours are safe and well and continue to do so. And again, listen to the setting. I mean, your settings. Listen to it on my live stream and see what you think. I think it sounds terrific, but you be the judge. You know your voice better than I do. Hey, November 2, Uniform Zulu Kilo, a Kilowatt Zero Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thank you again, Glenn, for being out there.
Okay, Randy, 73. Thanks for coming down up to 20, and I appreciate that. And have a great weekend yourself, and hopefully we'll catch you again. 73 and TUZK.
Yeah, sounds good. Take care. Kilowatt Zero Radio Whiskey Bravo QRZ. Any other stations out there? Come with your call, please.
November 4, Tango Papa Kilo.
November 4, Tango, is it Bravo Kilo?
Papa, like daddy, Papa.
Ha! Okay, got you that time. I like that. That's good. November 4, Tango Papa Kilo. If I typed it in the logger just right, this would be Mike. Is that a Roger?
That is correct. I am in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Wow, that's a pretty short run. Not too far away. The name here is Randy, and we are 35 miles east of downtown Kansas City, Missouri. So not a long distance between us, but gosh, you're 10 over in my receive.
Well, that's what I got on you, 10 over. I mean, you've been solid the whole time I've been listening to you talk to the other guy.
Well, that's pretty cool, actually. We just moved up here from 40 meters. It was a real struggle this evening. We been on the air about 7 o'clock Central Time, and few and far between. That's okay. I'm not a big pileup guy. We do a YouTube channel. We're live right now on YouTube as well. So we kind of do this thing during the evenings, and it's been really good 7 or 8 weeks here on 40 meters. And except for tonight, it's been a real struggle. So I saw that 40 was pretty active this evening. I heard it's getting better, so we decided to come up here for a little bit and call CQ. And we just talked to our friend Glenn down in Florida, and he had a 20 over signal. And like I said, you've been a 10 over as well. So I'm glad to see that 20 is open this evening there, Roger.
Affirmative. You say we're on YouTube?
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel. And I'm streaming live right now on YouTube, and it's also recording as well. So we do that. It's a little something extra for amateur radio. So if you're interested to see what you sound like on the air, you can go to my YouTube channel just by call sign K0RWB, or you can look me up in QRZ, and I've got a link for it as well. And then you could hear the QSO there, Roger.
Affirmative. I'm on a ICOM 7300, and I'm running a Electro Voice RE20 for the microphone, and I've got a 3-element high-gain tri-bander about 80 foot in the air.
Yeah, that might get her done. Good for you. That's terrific. A couple, 3-4 weeks ago, I did a kind of an informal poll of everybody I talked with that night who owned a 7300, and about 80% did, either in their primary or had it as a backup or a mobile or portable radio, and they are a terrific radio. I'm running one currently right now. I pulled this from my other shack. I have a Studio A and B is what my friends have been telling me. My Studio A rig, a Yaesu FTDX10, has stopped transmitting, so we have to send it back to California. So luckily we've got this rig, so we've got this paired with the Heil ICM boom microphone, and the antenna is just a dipole about 38 foot off the side of the tower. But you know what, it works, and we're getting good signals. I think the conditions are our favor. It does okay. On 20 meters, we run a hex beam, so we've kind of got that pointed due east. I don't think I need a reason to point it down your direction. You're already strong enough there, Roger.
Okay. Well, I tell you, that 7300's doing a great job. Which model of the headset or the ICOM boom you're using? What'd you say the model was?
Well, the microphone's an ICM by Heil, and I've got it set on my boom. I always run headphones just so the YL doesn't have to hear both conversations. But it's a regular boom microphone. I've heard a lot of operators had paired this mic and radio, and we're very fortunate, Mike, because we've got an amateur radio store here in the Kansas City metro area. And when I went to pick up this radio in January, I asked them as well what would be a good match. And I tried out several different mics there in the shop, and this one seemed to work the best. And he also indicated that a lot of operators were running this microphone with the radio. So, again, it's really hard to hear a bad 7300. You know, you can certainly brighten them up and get a little more fidelity, but they're really pretty good out of the box there, Roger.
Oh, I agree 100%. There's no doubt about it. I love mine. In fact, I even broke down and bought the twin, the 9700. You know, it matches it.
Oh, yeah, it's a great little package, no doubt. We had initially contemplated the 7610, but, you know, my other radio I had a dual receiver VFO, and I never used it, and I just didn't think it would be money well spent. And, you know, the 7300 really does its thing day in and day out. And, you know, a lot of money, or excuse me, a lot of radio for the money. You know, they were offering some rebates at the time when I bought mine, so it was basically $1,000, and that's really, really tough to pass up there. Go ahead.
Oh, I agree. I just wish the 9700 had been like that, but unfortunately, it wasn't that cheap.
Yeah, isn't that always the case? It never fails. Or the way my luck is, Mike, is as soon as I buy something, it goes on sale. They offer rebates, and then I'm out of luck because I bought it too soon, or sometimes too late for that matter. So my timing always seems to be off.
Yeah, I used to run an FT2000, and I loved that radio. You know, and then when I got this one, it just sort of got set to the side, and then finally one day one guy asked me what I'd take for it, and I told him, and I'd be dead burned if he didn't come knock on the door with the cash in his hand.
That's great. Well, I've told many in the last several months since we've been doing the live stream, either one of the radios, I think they're terrific radios. I'm not giving them back, and I'm not getting rid of them. So it'd be hard pressed to get the radios from me. You know, all the brands make really good radios. They all do something a little bit different, of course. And it's like, you know, Ford, Chevy, and Dodge, or whatever you want to call it. But we've been really happy with the radios. We've decided to upgrade over the years. And I think this radio here and the other radio would be really hard pressed to outgrow. They, like I said, they do a whole lot. The only thing I wish this 7300 had was the external monitor feature. That's really nice to have on the other rig. And, you know, other than that, I mean, I think this radio offers a lot of features. We did the last firmware download, which also did the presets for the FT8. That made it really, really simple if you want to do some digital mode. Again, I'm not complaining. It does what it's supposed to, and it does it quite well there, Roger.
Yeah, that would have been nice. I think you have to buy a kit to plug into the back of it to do the external monitor.
Well, that would be really nice. That's one thing that people have commented on when I do my live stream is I'm able to broadcast my radio display onto my my YouTube channel. There again, so you can see it for yourself. You know, the oscilloscope, your audio inflection, you know, what your signal strength is, and so forth. What I'm using now is a third-party software, so I'm able to put that on my YouTube channel. So it's not, you know, it's not quite the same. The display on the 7300 is a wonderful display, and it'd be nice to be able to mimic that on the live stream as well, or even on an external monitor there. Go ahead.
Yeah. Now, I got a friend that's got a 7610, and he's got an external monitor on it, and man, I tell you what, you wouldn't have no problem seeing anything, but it's identical to what you see on the screen, just like it was you just looking at an actual screen on the radio.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's how it is on my my Yaesu as well. And I purchased a video capture card that I plug in the back of my computer. So when I go live on the channel, it picks that up, and then I use a software that allows me to put all the different pictures together, of course. And yeah, it shows exactly what the radio display shows, and it's kind of a cool deal. Again, this software I'm using is not bad. It's a little bit different. You can change the colors, and you can kind of change the outlines and so forth. Kind of neat, but it's not quite the same as what you see in the display. But you just have to improvise and overcome and adapt. There, go ahead.
Yeah. If you would give me a good audio check and just tell me exactly how this microphone sounds, because every time I talk to one person, they tell me one thing and somebody else tells me, and but what I listen to in the headset don't sound like nothing what either one of them is telling me.
That's exactly right. I was just going to tell you that. A lot of times you either sound really good in your headset and it's not that way on the air, or you sound terrible in the headset and you sound great on the air. To me, your audio has full fidelity. I hear the highs, the lows. It's clear, it's audible, it's not being driven too hard. It's very audible. If you were going to run some DX in a pileup, you want to tighten it up a little bit, of course, a little bit more compression or what have you. Otherwise, I think it sounds fine. But again, just what I hear, Mike. What I will say is nobody knows your voice as well as you do. So again, that's why I do the live stream on YouTube. Listen to our audio, our QSO on the playback, and listen to your audio yourself. And you can decide if you want to make a change or need to make a change or what have you. That's what I did when I first started this end of January. I kept calling a station down in Florida who does a live stream every afternoon. And, he said, oh, it sounds good. I'd listen to the playback and it sounded terrible. I started making little adjustments and so forth. And I got it to where when I would listen to it, I go, that's what I sound like. So again, you could do that yourself, kind of take a look and a listen and see how it sounds in your receive.
Somebody on VHF just fired up. All righty. Well, that's what I'll do. I'll check that out. That'll tell me what I want to know without having to really, ask a bunch of folks.
Yeah, again, because, like I said, nobody knows your voice as well as you do. One person's interpretation, and I think that's fine. If you want to solicit audio reports, that's great. I think it sounds fine because you've got. I hear full fidelity. I hear highs and lows and a little bit of mix in the mids and so forth. It's very appealing to listen to. But listen to on the playback on my channel, and you decide yourself. If you do that, again, there's a link on my QRZ page, or you can go to YouTube and put in my call, K0RWB. But the reason I mention that, I've been live streaming about an hour and a half, so you'd want to fast forward up to about an hour 28, hour 29, about when we started, or you can listen to the whole thing. That's fine. But when you and I started, that would give you a pretty good idea where we started. Give a look and a listen and see what you think.
Well, I'll definitely do that. I appreciate it. I know you want to make some more contact, so I'll go ahead and step to the side there and listen a while. And I appreciate it, and I enjoyed it, and I hope we can do it again. 73 from TPK.
Well, I appreciate it very much for giving us a call this evening. I don't see a contact in the log, so thank you very much for that. Nice to see that 20 meters is open this time of night, and especially down into the Tuscaloosa area. So thank you very much for Alabama. I don't get into that part of the country very often. So pleasure's been all mine. You and yours be safe and be well. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and have a great Memorial Day weekend if we don't have a chance to talk to you in the meantime. So for now, I'll say 7-3 to you, Mike. November 4, Tango Papa Kilowatt, K0 RWB, Randy in Kansas City. We'll be clear, my friend. 7-3.
Whiskey Alpha 4, Yankee.
K3.
Did I hear a Whiskey Alpha 4 station again?
Whiskey Alpha 4, Yankee Lima.
Whiskey Alpha 4, Yankee and Lima. That voice sounds familiar. That sounds like Dawn. Dawn, how are you this evening?
I am doing great, Randy. I made a very interesting podcast on Saturday night with KZ9OLN. Parachuting out of an airplane and he talked to me while he was parachuting.
Well, that's terrific. Well, good for you. We haven't been on 20 meters for quite a while. We've been down on 40 meters for about 7 or 8 weeks doing the live stream. We just got a little bit better propagation in the evenings. 20 meters was getting to be a real struggle in the afternoons. I think the band had kind of moved quite a bit. So we moved down to 40 meters, and that does limit us sometimes with stations that we can usually work. But the opposite happened tonight. 40 meters was a little bit of a struggle. So we came here to 20 meters, and by golly, we're just having a great time. Very nice to hear you again. It's been a while. I hope things are going well for you there. Go ahead.
Yes, so band conditions here have been pretty bad. And yeah, kind of was down after the windstorm. I've been here tonight to visit with digital DMR radio and learning that and busy around the house. And I did not forget about you, Randy, and it's great to hear you out here tonight. So I saw it on YouTube that you were on. So I decided to jump on here. Just got done listening to a Skywarn net. Just sitting here now and decided to play out 20 years. I'm glad I found you out here.
Well, I'm glad that you got that notification and that we got a chance to have a queue. So again, the last one I'm showing was back in March. Well, actually 2 in March, March the 3rd and the 31st. So yeah, I guess we were about due. Again, a lot of it's on me just because the way propagation has been, and we went down to 40, and we're back, and we'll see how it goes. Maybe the bands will be good on both sides, and we can do a little bit of both, a little bit of 20 and a little bit of 40 meters, and see how many the contacts we can make. Repeat contacts. I always like talking to people we've talked with in the past. We enjoy making new contact as well, but I don't get a chance to talk to Dawn very often, so I'll take advantage of it there. Go ahead.
Thank you for that, Randy, and I really appreciate it. I also been busy with my radio club, like I told you last Thursday. Made 7 contacts in 7 different countries. Sometime last week, I can't remember when. But can't keep up with it. I mean, it's been so crazy lately with this band opening. And the guy I talked to on the parachute jump, his name was Carlos.
Well, we can only do what the bands will let us, so that's kind of where we're at. But we had to rename the shack here. This is Studio A minus versus Studio A or Studio B. We had to pull the radio out of Studio B to bring up here. The Studio A rig has decided to stop working for us, so we'll have to send that off to California. So we're back on the IC 7300 here, and we're just calling it Studio A minus instead of Studio A. Thanks to my friend Todd in Tennessee, he named these for me. But hey, we're making contacts, having fun, and everybody's got good signals so far here on 20 meters. So I'm glad to see that the band is doing quite well this evening. Dawn, go ahead.
Sure, so Randy, I had a very upsetting incident happen with my station last week. The landscapers decided they accidentally cut my coax, and I was off the air for a little while. But my friend came over and we drove down to the truck stop, picked up another PL259 connector, and we started it back on the end of the cable that was still attached. And actually the landscapers did me a favor. they cut the wire right to it, the coax right to it where it needed to be. And now I have no more feed line left. And I was wondering what my signals were over there and how am I coming across to you?
Well, I'm sorry to hear that they went through your coax. I would hopefully think they'd pay more attention to that, but I guess that is what it is. You know, your signal in the receive here has been 5.9 plus, almost plus 10. So it sounds it's got a great signal. Again, when we're up here on 20, we can run the beam, so we can definitely start pointing things around. But no, you got a great signal. And the audio, it sounds just like Dawn to me. There, go ahead.
Thank you so much. The reason why I asked was because I also added a hot spot in the room, which is right on my desk with the keyboard for the computer. And I was wondering if somebody said I had RFI coming through last week. And I think it had a lot to do with the cable being damaged and then cut in half.
Well, every once in a while I can hear a little bit of like it's garbled every once in a while. So, you know, I don't know if that's just a dirty contact in the mic or what, but I wouldn't think that your signal would be that strong in my receive if there was an issue, but again, I don't know without seeing it, of course, but other than that, I think it's working okay. At least I hear you quite well.
Do you hear any problem now? I turned the mic change down to 28.
No, it sounds good. It's nice and clear, and it's very audible, of course, easy to listen to. So, I'm kind of the same way, Don. I don't run a lot of mic gain either, and I think part of my problem is that I try to eat the microphone, so I have to constantly keep pushing myself away. So, to kind of combat that, I keep turning the mic gain down a little bit, and I think mine's set at 25. So yours and mine is pretty close, but no, I think it sounds great in my receive.
Yes, thank you, Randy. Before I had it at 48.
Charlie, Uniform Echo.
That's why it sounded kind of off. If I adjust the microphone constantly,
Well, again, it can vary just based on conditions, Don. So, I'm sure you're familiar with that as well. So, but again, it sounds good to me. It sounds like you. Every time I talk to you, you sound the same. So, that's a good thing. Consistency is a good thing to be there. So, Don, we'll move on here and see if we can make a couple more calls. But nice to see that 20 meters is working. I'm glad we got a chance to talk. It's been a while. And again, like I said, it's on me, just because where I've been. And if 20 meters is going to be okay, then we'll be back up on 20 meters as well. We're going to be portable over Memorial Day weekend, starting on Thursday evening. We're going to be east of us on the what they call the Katy Trail. So we'll be running the live stream, the radio, everything else here on battery. Over the weekend. So if you hear us out there, give us a call back in again, and we'll have a chance to work you for sure. In the meantime, you and yours be safe and will be well. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll look forward to working again. We'll just pick it up where we left off. But Don, always nice to hear you out there. Really nice to know that you're still doing the thing there. So 7-3 for now. Whiskey Alpha 4, a Yankee Lima, a Kilowatt Zero Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thank you again, Don.
Charlie, Uniform Echo.
Yeah, stand by.
And you're welcome. And you're welcome, because we are doing this contest in memory of a friend of the YL who unfortunately passed away and went carrying on her legacy and having the contest that she started. So everybody that comes on will get points towards it.
Okay, Don. Hey, I hope things go well for you the rest of the week, and I know we'll have a chance to talk again real soon. Always a pleasure and we'll look for you down the log for sure. We'll say 7-3 for now. K0RWB will be clear, and I think I did hear a couple of stations. I was able to pull out partials. I think one station ending in Papa Charlie. If you would come back with your call, please.
K3 ISO.
Randy, this is Kilo Oscar 4, Papa Charlie, and my name is Dudley, and I'm located in Alabama. And just heard you the mic and got distracted with some stuff going on. I run a 7300, and I wanted to find out what mic you're using. Trying to get K3RSJ Oscar.
Yeah, I understand. We another one in Alabama. Boy, that's really nice. That's 2 tonight. Boy, that's a state I have a hard time getting into. Yeah, appreciate that. The mic that's paired with the 7300 is the Heil ICM that we have with this. When we got the radio in January from our local amateur store, I asked him about different microphones, and we tried a few. He said he's matched this microphone with the 7300 on several different occasions and had gotten good results from the operators who purchased them. So we thought we'd give it a go, and actually, it'd probably be 2 months now. We had a Zoom call with Bob Heil, and it's one of the things we were talking about. Was, of course, he loved to talk audio, and I've raised that question on both of my rigs. This 7300, and I have an FTDX10 from Yaesu, and the first microphone he mentioned for this was the ICM. He says it seems to match up really well. So long story short, it's a very inexpensive Heil ICM microphone there. Go ahead.
Well, very good. Well, I appreciate the information, Randy, and fine being this on talking with the man there. That's awesome. Well, I won't keep you. I know there's probably several trying to work you, and I appreciate you coming back to me and giving me the information. And good night to you. This is Kilo Oscar 4, Papa Charlie.
No, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and yeah, I hope the information helps. I'm sure anything will work. This was really simple. A couple of settings on the transmit audio, and off we go. It sounds good in my receive in my headphones. I hope it sounds that way on the air as well. I haven't anybody shut me down yet, but there's a first for everything. So, hey, be safe and be well. Enjoy your holidays coming up, and thanks for giving us a call. We try to be out here in the evenings about 7 o'clock Central, usually 40, but we came up to 20 because it was a little bit more active at night, because we do a YouTube channel. We're actually live on YouTube right now. So, again, if you'd like to hear our QSO, you can go to my channel, K0RWB, and you could listen to see how you sound yourself. So, in the meantime, be safe and be well, and take care. We'll catch you down the log. Hope we have a chance to work again. Kilo Oscar 4, Papa Charlie, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thank you again, 7-3s. Okay, K0RWB, Randy in Kansas City, QRZ. Any other stations, please?
K3, Radio Sugar Japan.
And Kilo 3, Radio Sugar Japan. Is that it, Roger?
QSL, the handle is Bob. QTH is Annapolis in Maryland. I have the ubiquitous 7300, and I have a $26 microphone. It's a BM800, and since you're talking audio, how does this sound?
Well, I'll do one at a time. Let's put it this way. The signal strength, you bumped 40 over. I moved the beam up your direction. And I'm not used to doing that in the evenings. I'm usually on 40 meters, so it's a dipole. So I'm back on the beam. I got to remember to start moving it around. So anyway, signal is terrific. And the audio is nice as well. Very clean and very clear, if that makes sense. I don't do technical terms. It's very bright. It's right. It's like it's right in front of you. It's not overdriven. It sounds really good, and I think it would work really good for Ragchew and probably work real good to DX.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm going to change to, you mentioned the filter settings. I'm going to change to a narrow transmit bandwidth, and let me get your comment on that. Stand by.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. I mean, that's the kind of thing. Well, that's why I started doing this. For one, the little niche of being able to hear ourselves on the air, we don't get that much of an opportunity. So that's kind of why we started the YouTube channel several months back. So it is kind of neat to hear the differences as well. And then, of course, with it being recorded, you can listen to the differences yourself there. Go ahead.
Okay, very fine. handle, and this is the narrow setting, which is using Bob Heil's comments. He has some YouTubes out too, and some other YouTube things or comments. It's a little bit narrower bandwidth, emphasizing the treble for punch through. How's that sound?
I wouldn't want to listen to it very long, but if you're trying to bust a pile up and it's 59 QRZ, you'll probably get right through.
K6UNR, could I get in with you guys, please?
K3 IFO.
K3RSJ standing by.
K6UNR in Laughlin, Nevada. I'd like to pull some tests with you, and your audio is probably like mine. It's very narrow, right?
Are you Murray?
That's affirmative. It is narrow.
Are you Murray?
On the narrow audio, guys, a barge here in Laughlin, Nevada. That's for DX, that's what you need. Very much highs, over.
Are you?
Yeah, well, you have that. I'm going to turn it back over to K0RWB and let him give you a comment. But or do you want to go wide and try that?
Well, you got to stop being 40 over for one. So either that, I'm gonna have to turn the beam to the backside because you're just killing me over here, Bob.
I'll turn the amp off. How's that?
Well, I mean, it's nice to have those kind of signals, but boy, I tell you what, that's a pipeline. I'm not used to this on the evenings on 20 meters, so I got to kind of get back in the swing of things there. So it sounds great, but boy, it's sure pegging the needle. Sir, I'm talking with the station up in Annapolis. If you'll stand by, I'd be happy to get back to you.
Okay, no problem, Mike. I just wanted to give you a check and see or the other gentleman, what we could do.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. We're trying to do a live stream here on YouTube. I'd be happy to get back to you and give you some reports if that'll help. Yeah, Bob, you still in there, or did you turn the amp off and now I can't hear you at all?
No, I'm in here. How do you hear?
Oh, it sounds great. That's 20 over. Again, that narrow setting, and you know what it's for. Again, if you want to get up above the pileup or get right through it, that's probably the great setting for it.
Okay, I just wanted to see if you noticed a difference. I'm back on wide, so it's not so hard on your ears. And I'm running only a wire antenna off center fed dipole. About 30, 40 feet off the ground. And the band is just a pipeline tonight. You're right. 20 normally doesn't come in like this, and 40's clobbered. And I generally go down on 60 meters, FT8, and everybody runs 100 watts there.
Yeah, we started doing the live stream about the 1st of February, and it was great on 20 meters. We'd run in the afternoon for a few hours. And then all of a sudden the bands really started to change and it got to be a struggle. So we ended up moving down to 40 meters that afternoon when we were having such a hard time. And 40 meters was just exploding. And we've been there now for 7 or 8 weeks. We've been off the air for about 5 or 6 days. We had a radio that went down on us, and the other radio was out on loan. We finally got it back. That's what we're on right now, the 7300. And 40 meters tonight was a real struggle. And a friend of mine hit me on the live chat and he says, "We'll go up to 20 meters and see what happens." And I'm blown away. To get into Alabama, back to back, that's almost unheard of for me. And I'm pointed just about your direction, and I can't get over the signal, especially for a wire antenna. So the band is definitely open.
K3 IFO.
It'll be trending that way. K0RWB, K3RSJ. And I'm
K3 IFO.
Bow out and let the gentleman, I think he's at kilowatt 6. I didn't get the call, but he's looking for an audio report also.
Yeah, stand by. Yeah, no problem. No, I get it. I appreciate it. And, thanks for giving us a call tonight. It's nice to know that those two different settings work. And if you don't believe me, go ahead and listen to the playback on my channel. You'll definitely hear the difference, and the signal as well. Again, 40 overs don't happen very often, and I'm not running any preamp, so the pipeline is great. The wire antennas, when they work, and of course propagation helps as well. So, hey, listen, enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for giving us a call. You and yours be safe and be well. Have a great holiday as it come up this weekend. and hopefully we'll have a chance to work again. Kilo 3, Romeo Sierra Juliet, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thank you again, 73s.
73, enjoyed it. And do you have an email on QRZ.com?
Yeah, I sure do. I'm good in QRZ, so you can send me an email if you'd like.
Yeah, maybe we can hook up again, and I might want to experiment. This is the best mic I've ever seen, and got a lot of good comments on the web.
Yeah, stand by a while.
$26. I had to rewire it, but it's been worth it. 73. Thanks again. K0RWB, K3RSJ.
Yeah, by all means, look forward to it, and if I can help any in the future, whatever, yeah, just send me an email. We'll figure out a time, a skit, whatever it takes. Get on the band and we'll make it work one way or the other. Be happy to do that. So people did it for me, so I'll be happy to do it for you as well. Take care, 73s. We'll go ahead and clear. The other station, I think, came under Kilo 3 India Foxtrot Lima. Are you still in there? Go ahead.
Kilo 3 India Foxtrot Oscar.
My apologies. We'll put it in there, India Foxtrot Oscar. Go ahead.
No need to apologize. This is Kilo 3 India Foxtrot Oscar. Joe, Juliet Oscar Echo, just north of Washington, D.C.
Well, very nice. Looks like the Eastern Seaboard is coming in quite well. The handle here is Randy, the QTH. We're 35 miles east of downtown Kansas City, Missouri. Go ahead.
Roger. 10 over here, just north of Washington, D.C. Go ahead.
Oh, that's terrific. That's another part of the country I don't get in, especially the D.C. area per se. I think it's probably just timing on my part. I wish we had more time for radio, but it doesn't always work out that way. But, making contacts is the name of the game. So we've been very fortunate tonight. I had a fairly good luck of making contacts. Not many pileups. I hate those because I like to try to work everybody. But they're here and there, and we work in the best we can. But everybody so far here on 20 has just sounded terrific. So it's nice to hear the band is doing well tonight.
Yeah, you're loud and clear. You're crystal clear. Coming in almost 15-20 over. So doing great. K3 IFO. Thanks for picking me up. And I'm going to stand by and listen. K3 IFO clear.
Well, that sounds great. Appreciate it very much. And, you're the same way. That last go-around was 20 over. And clear as a bell, like being on the phone, which doesn't happen very often. I told somebody earlier, if the conditions were good day in and day out, we'd get bored, and we'd do something else. When you have a little adversity, or the band is in a great shape, we work for those contacts, and it means a little bit more. So when you get a few instances like tonight where the conditions are great, you take those as well. But the hard contacts are kind of fun too. So I appreciate you standing by there. I know you called in a couple of times. I appreciate you your patience and giving us a chance to clear with the other stations. And again, sounds very good in my receive. Hopefully we have a chance to work again. Kilo 3 India Foxtrot Oscar Kilowatt 0 Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thank you again, 73s.
73, and thanks for being patient with me. Have a good evening. Whiskey 4.
Yeah, Roger. 73s. And we'll say QRZ. I think I heard a Whiskey 4 station again, please.
Roger that. It's Whiskey 4 Romeo X-Ray.
Whiskey 4 Romeo X-Ray. Got you that time. Thanks for giving us a call. If I typed it in there right, Stephen or Steve there, go ahead.
Yep, name here is Steve. I got your name is Randy, but I missed your call.
Yeah, no problem. I miss it all the time as well, so don't feel bad. Call is Kilowatt 0 Radio Whiskey Bravo, red, white, and blue, I like to say. It's also the initials K0RWB is the call here. And QTH, we're about 35 miles east of downtown Kansas City, Missouri. Steve, go ahead.
All right. Hey, good deal, Randy. Got you that time? We're here on the east coast of Florida, about 100 miles north of Miami. And the conditions have been fairly well tonight. I made some European contacts and hit Scotland for the first time, and I'm just running 100 watts on a wire here. And you're my first Western contact in the evening. But you're coming in here about a 5.9 with maybe a little bit over. So a real good signal coming in my way.
Well, okay, I appreciate that. We were pointed a little bit more to the northeast, so we moved the beam down a little bit more your direction. You came up in my receive, good solid 5 and 9, a little over as well. Second contact, or third contact, into Florida tonight. So nice to see the little bit of consistency. We're not really sure what to expect here on 20 meters. It's been a while since we've been here on 20 especially at this time of night. So we're just really impressed that the band has held as well as it has, and everybody has sounded really good there. Go ahead.
Since this new solar cycle started, and I'm optimistic that we're going to have a good 11 years here. So I'm planning on making a lot of contacts. And yeah, your audio is just absolutely superb. And when you turned the beam, you added 10 to your signal, so you're a good 10 over 5.9 here. Great audio, and I think you're my first Kansas City contact. So I'm skimming back through here, but yeah, it's good to talk to. Like you said, pilots are good sometimes when it's a lot of, it's a fun for a little bit, but it's nice to just sit and talk and get to know whoever's on the other end of the mic.
Yeah, very, very true, Steve. No doubt about it. It's I think it's a terrific hobby. We haven't been a ham a long period of time. We got our ticket in 08. We've had a few years, a few lean years, a few good years. I'd like to think that Cycle 25 is coming along and getting a little better all the time. I think it does have its moments, of course, but it's certainly bringing some new people into the hobby. Of course, the last 18 months with COVID did that as well. I've talked to a lot of first-time new operators. I mean, within weeks or within days of getting their ticket. Which is pretty neat. So I really think the hobby is in pretty good shape. The manufacturers are still producing terrific radios, and they wouldn't do that if they didn't think the hobby was, being pretty stable. So I think all in all, it's a terrific hobby. There's great people out there that have a wealth of knowledge that are willing to share just by asking a simple question. And, opinions mean a lot. Everybody has one, and, if you hear the ones over and over again, it kind of gives you an idea how something works or how it operates. So that's kind of nice. So we've met just the greatest people in the world on amateur radio, and we're glad to be part of it there, Roger.
Hey, yeah, no comment. That's definitely the truth. I'm a VE here in Stuart, Florida, and I've really been impressed with the increased interest of people wanting to get into ham radio, and we're starting to pick up some of the younger members. I think they're starting to realize that if everything else fails, those cell phones that they've got in their pockets are not going to work worth a crap. So I've had a few people that still in high school and just out of high school, and all the way up to mid-30s that seem to really be getting interested in it. We've had pretty good test sessions here in the last few months, even with the pandemic. Our EOC was the vibration enough to let us in, as long as we did the CDC guidelines, social distancing, mask flowers in the building, and then we would do a complete clean up of the room after the session. So everybody has done well. We've had a little trouble with the test, but big interest is incredible. I think it's quite the interest that really our field days are coming up. There's about 10 or 15 of our newer members that have never been to a field day, so they're looking forward to it with great excitement. We're going to do our live field days in altitude, so we're going to have quite a crowded field day here in Stuart. That's right on the inlet, so we have really good propagation. We always have a real good time. So we're all looking forward to the field day, and I think that's even going to increase interest a little bit further because park it does draw a lot of attention. Over to you.
Yeah, you're on the front line, so to speak. Being a VE, so you kind of see the kind of folks that are getting interested in the hobby and wanting to get their ticket and so forth, and to kind of piggyback off of that, what I've seen on my side is I've got text and emails and on the live chat, because I do a live stream on YouTube, and I've had people email me and so forth that said we've had my son or my daughter or my brother have watched you on your channel, listen to, you listen to you on the YouTube channel and live and on the playbacks, and they've gotten interest in it because they see the meters moving and the oscilloscope, and it's spurred their interest into amateur radio. I mean, I'm not taking credit for this per se because I'm not the first one who's done this, and I won't be the last, but it is pretty nice to know that, maybe you played a little part and maybe somebody getting some interest into the hobby just because we stream this live on YouTube. Yeah, I look forward to it, Steve, and thanks for giving us a call this evening. I didn't see a contact with us, so thank you for the first one. And give a look and a listen. You can get to the channel by going to my QRZ page. I have a link. You can click on that. It'll take you to my channel. You look for the day's video, or you can go right to YouTube, go in the search bar, and put in my call K0RWB, and look for the video same time. And you could probably fast forward, and if you want to hear it all, but if you wanted to fast forward to listen to RQSO about 2 hours in, would get you pretty close, and you get a chance to see what it sounds like on the air, which we don't get a chance to do very often, so I think it's kind of a neat deal. So we enjoy doing it. I think others do as well, so we'll continue to do that. You and yours be safe and be well. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and have a great holiday weekend coming up if we don't have a chance to talk to you then, but I have a feeling we'll have a chance to work again, and we'll just kind of pick it up where we left off. So I'll say 7-3s for now. Whiskey 4, Radio X-Ray, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo, Randy in Kansas City, 7-3s.
Kilo Charlie 9, India, Papa Lima.
Yeah, stand by. Okay, Steve, take care. 7-3s. And we'll go ahead and clear with him. And the Kilo Charlie 9 station again, please.
Kilo Charlie 9, India, Papa Lima. Good evening.
Okay. Thanks for giving us the call. Kilo Charlie 9, India, Papa Lima. Roger, good evening to you, sir. Again, the name here is Randy. We're 35 miles east of downtown Kansas City, Missouri. Go ahead.
Very well, Randy. We're sitting here looking at your website there and your YouTube channel. So, correct on the new people coming into the hobby. Good to hear them.
Yeah, I will have to say that it's very encouraging. And it's like any other hobby, I guess. There's some highs and lows and what have you. And one of the reasons I think it's really gotten better, just about a month ago now on 40 meters, I do this in the evenings on 40 about 7 o'clock, and I had an operator call in from Huffman, Texas, kind of northeast of Houston. And I answered his call. A 9-year-old boy, he has his tech license, but he's working with his dad in his shack. 9 years old. He's studying to take his general this summer, and he handled himself very well on the air. Knew the phonetic alphabet better than a lot of us do. Very, very nice young man to talk to. And I sat back and I listened to that later, and I was so impressed. And that just tells me that the hobby is going to be in great shape.
I agree with you 100%. I remember a few years back I talked to a young lady that I think she was doing the schools on the air. But
In the conversation that she and I had, she told me that there were 5 people in her family, and out of the 5, the only one that did not have a ticket was a 6-month-old, and they were all on QRZ, of course, so that was interesting. Then a few months after that, they had a article in QRZ about them.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I think I'd probably just have to hang up my microphone if a 6-month-old got his ticket or got her ticket. Man, it was a struggle for me to get mine. Of course, that's a long story, but it does tell you a little bit about the hobby. Again, and I've told people before, the nice thing about this hobby is there's something for everybody. If you want to work digital modes or you want to work strictly phone or, RTTY or CW, it's endless. You want to make and work with experiment with antennas or make your own amplifier, that kind of stuff. And there's a price point for everybody as well. You don't have to spend a lot of money to get on the air and make contacts. That's the nice thing. Again, I did an informal poll one night when I was down on 40 meters, and 80% of the operators I thought was 100 watts on a wire. I mean, so again, it's terrific. When the conditions are lean and the bands are dry, I mean, it's a struggle, and people find other things to do. But boy, when it's good, they come back, and I think it's great.
Oh yeah, I've noticed that a lot. I've helped a lot of people and try to help a lot of people continually. And there's always maybe older equipment, somewhat maybe undesirable equipment that can help somebody that has nothing or is just new to the hobby and doesn't know exactly what they want. Get them on the air, get them used to it, get them to be relaxed, show them how things operate. Here's an old tuner. It's ugly, but it works. Once you get it down pat, then you can, buy your new one or whatever you want to do and just recycle that back around through all the new kids on the block and try to help them along.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Again, unless you have a webcam pointed at your shack, nobody sees your equipment unless you're going to put take a picture and put it on your QRZ page, which most of us do. So, and I've told people before, radios are designed to do 2 things. They're designed to transmit and receive. They have no idea how old they are. They're designed to do this and this. Yes, there is a little difference in receive technology now, no doubt about it, and that's okay. But I started off with an old, old 101 Yaesu. Then I thought I upgraded. I had a Kenwood TS-140. I thought I was a new guy on the block, and it was great. And it's a progression. You don't build it in one day. And I was very fortunate. My Elmer told me a long time ago, he says 90% of your station should be antenna and 10% should be everything else. And there's a lot to be said about that. So if you have an antenna that works well, that's resonant, that's effective and puts out the performance, the rest of the equipment is in support of the antenna, and that's just the way I've always tried to approach it.
Yeah, that's a true fact. I've seen some old equipment that does a heck of a good job with a good wire antenna to tune the length to match. By the way, this is Casey on IPL, and you are 10 over in Indiana.
Well, I appreciate that, which I'm surprising. It's rather kind of short for 20, but I've been surprised all evening. And matter of fact, it's been so long I've been up on 20, I haven't even bothered moving the beams. I was pointed down in Florida, so I kind of move it a little bit closer your direction. Not that I need to, but probably for the next one around. So probably a little closer. But yeah, you've been about 10 over as well, Roger. So nice little pipeline, even if it is kind of short skip for 20 there. Go ahead.
Roger on that. Well, everybody that I've run into that's a newer person, they say, well, which band? And I say, don't worry about some of this stuff right now. It'll come to you. It's like any sport or hobby. You want to play ball, you go out and practice. And the more you practice, the better you are. Regardless of whether it's building the antenna or learning how to tune your amplifier or your tuner or just lay your station out, the more you're involved in it, and that includes once you've got a little bit of time on your belt, then you help the next guy that's coming up the ladder, and try to teach him what you know. And then, you always learn things regardless of whether you think you know it all or not.
Yeah, and again, I attribute that to the hobby and the people that are actually in the hobby. If you call CQ and you get somebody to answer back, and you say, "Hey, I got a question," you're going to get an answer. You're going to get opinions, and I solicit those, because enough opinions kind of will lead you one direction or the other. And there are a lot of other people out there. I mean, a lot of operators that have a lot more experience and expertise than I do. And if I don't know something, I have no problems asking. And that's the thing I think new operators have to overcome, is they're afraid to ask a question and sound dumb. Well, I've done that in my entire life, so I have no problem sounding dumb. And I do this on the air, so it's being recorded, so you can always hear me be dumb for the last couple of months. But I think that's part of it. You overcome that. You're not afraid to ask questions or say, why does this work the way it does? How do you sound that good? What do you do that I need to do? How does that antenna work compared to the antenna I'm using now? Does it work? Can I put an antenna in my attic, and how will it work? Or could I put it in the backyard? Again, the operators, especially people I've taught with here in amateur radio, are the greatest people in the world. Do anything for you, and you'll probably never meet in person, but you become really good friends over the air. And I really cherish those relationships with a lot of operators, especially since I've been doing this for the last about 5 months now. And I've had a lot of repeat people that come in. A lot of people support my channel, are constantly giving me updates on the live chat and so forth. And I feel very, very fortunate that this has worked. And I think people are getting some from it as well. They seem to enjoy it. I get a lot of comments from it. And as long as people enjoy it or getting something out of it, I'll continue doing it.
Well, I think it's a good thing to do. And, with the newer radios, like you mentioned, there's so much new things coming down the tube. I mean, younger people have been glued to TV and then to their phones and to their computers. And now they finally realize, hey, I can use my computer in this hobby. Or I can even talk overseas on IRLP with my phone. Things that they don't realize that are out there that's possible for them to utilize.
Well, and I don't know if you caught or leave it on the side or something, but I mentioned that earlier that I've had people that send me an email or a few that have texted and so forth. And, hey, I listened to our QSO on your channel the other night, and my brother watched it with me, or my kids did, and thought that was a really cool thing. And it may have spurred some interest into the hobby, because, it has to continue to grow with new operators and so forth. And ages are ages. It doesn't matter. And again, I didn't invent this. I'm not the first one to do this, of course, and I don't think I'll be the last, but it's timing. Maybe there's nobody else right now who's doing it tonight, or maybe they're doing it in the afternoon. But again, I like to do it because we don't get an opportunity very often to hear ourselves on the air. And a new microphone radio, you don't really know how it sounds. Because what I hear in my headphones right now sounds awful, but it sounds good on the air, and or vice versa. So again, I'm not trying to go over and over again, but it is kind of nice when somebody says, hey, a friend of mine, I've got a guy that's down in Fort Campbell, and he has a friend that's over in Stuttgart, Germany, military, and he says, yeah, I gave the guy. I played the YouTube playback that you and I talked, and he just thought that was the coolest thing, and now he's trying to figure out how he can get his ticket. So, if that spurs people into it, hey, great. I think that'll actually advance the hobby.
Well, another thing that I've noticed is you make friends on radio, and especially local friends, on 2 meters. And then you find out, hey, 10 of these guys that are in this club with me, camp club in the local area, they're also motorcycling, or they are also into, art, or fishing, or hot rods, or camping. There's a lot of different things that are other people have interests with that are in common with you, that are sort of intertwined with it. It's like camping out field day type situation and dragging the radio along with you.
Well, yes, it's exactly right. Now, and I even go one step further. I probably know and have talked to at least 24 operators or maybe more that are also pilots, aviation, and I am as well. So that, you know, you wouldn't think you put those two and two together, but they do kind of go hand in hand, so to speak. And so that's kind of a neat deal. So not only are you able to talk about amateur radio, but you have this common interest in aviation, what they fly, how long they've been flying, where they fly, and so on and so forth. And no difference of what motorcycle clubs are, doing charity rides or what have you. So again, amateur radio reaches out to a great big deal of different demographics. We all come from different backgrounds and experiences and so forth, but we have that common bond, which is amateur radio. We all go through the same struggles. You know, we got RF we're dealing with, or the antenna's not performing, or we had this happen or that happen. We've all gone through it, so we can all kind of understand and realize what you have to do to get back on the air and be successful at it. So, and then you've got the other interest as well. Again, it's really nice how it ties everything together.
Yeah, I ride a motorcycle, and I ride with the American Legion Riders, and I happened to bring up some time ago to a bunch of people that the National in Annapolis has got 2 amateur radio stations, and you get on the air, you can make contacts, and they have a big shindig once a year that they do, and send out cards and what have you. A lot of people aren't even aware of things like that, but I was on 10 tonight, made a lot of contacts. In fact, I just shut my other radio that's on 10, the 300, and I had like 20 contacts I could see, or radios, I should say, that were transmitting, that were on the air about half an hour ago when I shut it off. So here it was, like, close to 10 o'clock at night. 10 meters is open of all things. 6 was even open tonight.
Yeah, that's encouraging. 7-8 weeks ago, I was having issues and struggles on 20 meters in the afternoons, and we decided to try to work it best we could for about an hour. And I said, hey, we're going to QSY down to 40, and the 40 meters had been exploding for the last basically 2 months. So we've been off the air for the last 5 or 6 days. We had our radio that went down on us, and this radio was being loaned down the street, and we had to wait till we could get it back so we could get back on the air. And so we started on 40 meters tonight about 7 o'clock Central, and it was a struggle. A lot of CQs and finally a station here and there. And I had a friend of mine message me on the chat and says, why don't you go up and try 20 meters? And I said, yeah, we'll give it a shot. And gosh, it's just been crazy. So it's kind of done a role reversal. And to get into Alabama, which is relatively close, and be 20 over is pretty good. And we're not that far away. I think you're north of Fort Wayne, and to be 10 over as well. So that just tells me the band is open. It's open late at night, and I understand it's even open later than this. So again, I'm encouraged by it. I know there's going to be some down days as well, but hopefully the good days outweigh the down days as well. They're K0RWB. Back to you.
Roger on that. This is KC9IPL. I was on 20. 20 is my favorite band. I love 20. I was on 20, I think 2 years ago. Got on it just like tonight. And I'm retired, so if I want to stay up late, I do. And I stayed on that thing all through the night and went to bed at 5 o'clock in the morning, and it was still 10. I talked to guys in New Zealand, Australia, and then the European station started coming in. And I just had a riot. I couldn't believe that it was open that late. Most of the time you'd run home, or at least I would try to run home and get here before sundown or shortly thereafter, maybe an hour afterward, and 20 would still be open, but it would close down, shortly after that. But to have it open all night or late at night is really sort of rare, and I really enjoy that.
Yeah, it is nice to know that, as we go into darkness, Europeans are coming in the next day. So, the conditions in most cases would, kind of roll around. It's what we like to think. So hopefully it'll continue to be like that. What I've been hearing here lately, that's how it's been in the evenings. The station I talked with earlier was up on 20 meters here until 10 minutes after 11 Central. So that's nice to hear. I don't know how that consistent's going to be, but it is what it is. So, Roger, I want to cut it short, but I got a little text in front of me from my on my phone here, actually from the YL, because she knows I'm up here live, doesn't want to come up and be seen on camera, so to speak. But I've been summoned, called, if you want to call it. So, and we're getting close to the bottom of the hour anyway, so I probably should shut it off. But I'm being requested for something, so we've been out here for about 2.5 hours, so it's probably time to cut it loose anyway. But nice to end it on a good note. Thank you very much. Very nice signal. Nice to talk with you. I really have enjoyed it, and your audio is very nice as well. Made it even more interesting to listen to. So hopefully we'll have a chance to do it again. I like to think so. Again, I'd like to get more of on a consistent basis, but with the issues we've had in the shack, even to get on the air tonight's been quite a struggle. But we did make it, so I'm hoping it'll continue to do so. You and yours be safe and be well, of course. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and if we don't talk before Memorial Day, have a great holiday. And look forward to working again, and we'll just kind of pick it up where we left off, I have no doubt. So I'll say 7-3 for now. I'll do mine, and you can finish yours as well. Kilo Charlie 9, India Papa Lima, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thank you again, sir. 7-3.
Very well, Randy. Yeah, you're sounding real good. You must have tuned that ham beam right on top of me because you were 20 over. So I really appreciate the conversation. Had a good time, and I really do hope I bump into you again. I'm running a ICOM 7610 and a homemade fan dipole 2040 and 80, and we got it backed up with an Alpha 91B. I'm putting about 800 watts out. So I'll say 73 to you. Have a good evening. Tell your wife I'm sorry I kept you up so late. Have a good one. KC9IPL.
My pleasure. Thank you so much. Appreciate the flowers. Again, you sound good in my receive as well. 7-3s. Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Randy in Kansas City. We're going to be clear in QRT.